Morning yogis, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Mind, Body, Spirit, and Balance. My name is Stephanie Moore, and if you're brand new to my channel, if this is your first class that you've ever taken, I am a yoga teacher from New Jersey who is currently in Orlando at the moment at my holiday home, spending the quarantine time or the lockdown time or the self-isolation time here so that we can be, my family and I can be in a little bit of sunshine during this tumultuous time in the world. So I really wanted to put together these classes for my students back in New Jersey who have been so devotedly taking classes with me for many years. I wanted them to be able to continue their practice without losing too much of it. So this is going to be a shorter, most of my classes have been about an hour. This is going to be a shorter class. This is early in the morning. It's about 7:40 in the morning. I am super tight this morning I taught 3 yoga classes virtually through another studio that I work with online for our students at that studio. So I'm super tight. I've been doing a lot of HIIT workouts, a lot of glute and outer hip strengthening, so that always pulls onto the low back, the quadratus lumborum. So I really wanted to do something. I know we're all sitting at our desks, we're working from home, we're sitting in chairs that we're not used to, we're in environments that are different than we're used to, we're teaching our children, some of us. So our bodies aren't feeling the same, and I really wanted to just stretch us all out, take us down a notch, and give us a short, quick video to start our day off, a quick morning stretch video. So I love to start my videos off with a little bit of breath work. I take my breath work in many different positions, but today let's just take it seated. Let's just find an easy seat. So for me, that always feels best in half lotus, just drawing one leg in towards the groin. It might feel more comfortable for you to crisscross your ankles. Maybe you want to bring the soles of your feet together. Perhaps you have a lift, a blanket or a block that you'd like to sit on that would help lift up your hips higher than your knees. That really helps if you have cranky hips and your knees are way up high. If you sit up on a thick hardcover book, it will make a world of difference. You'll find your knees coming forward because you'll have that beautiful anterior tilt in your hips, and it will allow the tailbone to curl back more than tuck under, which is what we want, a nice long spine with a natural curve in the lumbar spine. So ground yourself down into your yoga mat or your carpet, wherever you are at the moment. Maybe you have pets around you, maybe you have children. Just bring yourself to this moment as best as you can. Close your eyes if that feels okay for you. And feel yourself just dropping down into the earth. So notice all the parts of your body that are connected to the ground, and let them all be heavy. So all of the parts of your body that are touching Mother Earth, let them sink down and feel supported by Mother Earth. Let them just fall into the arms of Mother Earth. All the muscles, ligaments, just releasing their need to grip or tense in the legs, especially around the groins or the hips, the quadriceps. Let everything just be soft. Consciously let all of your muscles let go. And then travel up your spine. Let a wave of energy just serpentine up your spine. And draw the crown of the head ever so slightly taller and closer towards your ceiling. For me, closer towards the heavens. And then just draw the chin back a little bit. Retract the chin back so that you have a beautiful, straight, long spine. You're not taking the chin forward, which we tend to do in today's society as we look down at our phones, at our computers. Retract it back, so that the ear lobes are in line with the tops of your shoulders. And then take your shoulders up to your ears. Give them a nice tight shrug. And then roll them down and back. So keep the shoulders down and away from the ears, feeling a stretch down the sides of your neck into your trapezoids. And then just soften. Soften your awareness, soften your breath. Just notice where you are mentally, emotionally, physically today. Check in. How are you feeling? I know for me, I've been a little bit frantic these past few days trying to figure out whether we're staying here, whether we're going back home, whether my son will finish his senior year at high school. My mind's been racing. So when I come to my mat, I try to just let the thoughts drift away like clouds in a summer sky and bring all of my awareness and my attention to this moment, to the four corners of my mat. I notice the sounds around me, both near and far. I notice the quality of my breath and where it's coming from. And then I try to cultivate something more meaningful. So I try to take more conscious breaths. And for me, it always makes sense to draw my breath from deep in the low belly, which is called diaphragmatic breathing. Because I know that when we breathe from low in the belly, from the base of our stomach into the diaphragm, that we tell our bodies that we're safe, that we move into parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. I know sometimes it's difficult to release the abdomen and let the low belly be open like a balloon. But I urge you to try to allow that to happen. This deep low belly breathing is integral for your sense of safety and security. It releases all the feel-good hormones in your body, and it takes you out of fight or flight. When we only breathe from the upper chest, short and shallow, we are telling our body, we're signaling to our body that we're in fight or flight. And if you really struggle with this, you can take your hands to your low belly, and as you breathe, feel your hands moving away from your spine. And then as you exhale, feel your hands moving back towards your spine. Inhale, low belly fills up like a balloon. Exhale, draw the belly in. This oceanic sound I'm making with the back of my throat is a yogic pranayama called Ujjayi breath. And we use it to create heat. It's called victorious breath. But it's also used to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. Think of drinking through a straw that you've slightly constricted with your fingers or pinched with your fingers. It would take you a lot longer to drink a drink if you pinch the straw rather than leaving it open. And just take one more deep breath, filling your low belly up as much as you can. And this time, open the mouth and release your exhale. Take your hands back to your knees and blink your eyes open. And I know for me, after those few moments of breathing, I feel a sense of clarity and newness and almost alive with sensation and vibration. I feel so much better after those few moments of breaths. So remember that type of breathing, and you can always take that into your day. And at times that you feel overwhelmed or anxious or stressed, you can just stop for a moment, turn your phone off, turn your computer off, put your hands on your low belly, and find 5 deep, really conscious, slow breaths. Maybe trying to use that ujjayi breath. Let's get into some neck stretching because that's so important now as we're sitting at our desks to just stretch our necks. We're often sitting hunched at tables that aren't ergonomically correct. So our elbows are higher than they should be. Elbows should always be below the shoulders at this beautiful 45-degree or 90-degree angle. And oftentimes we're at kitchen desks or somewhere and we're not set up properly for our bodies. So we get all this tension in our neck and our trapezoids. So we'll get some gentle neck stretches. So take the left hand down to the mat and reach the right hand up and over. Find a beautiful side body stretch all the way down that right side body. And then maybe you can take the gaze up towards the bicep. And you'll feel this stretch in the front of your neck when you do this. And then bend into that left elbow a little bit more, reach a little bit deeper, keeping that right hip tacked down. And then inhale, rise up. Take the fingertips just above that left ear and gently draw the left ear, the right ear towards the right shoulder. I'm mirroring you and I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'm not sure if I'll be switched around for this video or not, but just follow my verbal cues. Feeling this beautiful stretch all the way down the left side of the neck. So you're not tugging on the head, you're just gently tenting your fingertips and finding that gentle pull and release. Start to walk the left fingertips away a little bit. You'll feel an even more intense stretch. Let that happen. Breathe. And take the gaze down. So just rotate the neck down towards your right hip bone. And you'll feel the stretch all the way down the back of your neck. And then gaze up towards your ceiling or the sky, getting the stretch in the front of the neck. That feels so good. And then release the right hand down. Inhale the left arm up and over. Put a little bend into that right arm and then reach up and over. Feeling that beautiful side body stretch now down the left side. Let the left hip tack down toward your mat. So it's this drawing away of the fingertips, but this pulling towards the earth, this opposite motion. And then breathe through the left side rib. So every time you breathe, let the rib cage open like an accordion. And then as you push into that right hand, just take the left fingertips and let them gently tent above the ear. Draw left ear to left shoulder this time. Feel that beautiful stretch down the side of the neck. Start to walk the fingertips away from the body. Feel the deeper stretch. And then keeping the ear towards the shoulder, just rotate the gaze down towards that left hip point, stretching into the back of the neck. I don't know if you can feel this, but this is really intense for me and it feels amazing. And then rotate the gaze up towards the sky. Front of the neck, it's that beautiful stretch. Keep reaching the fingertips away. And then release the hand down. Find a gentle twist, so it doesn't matter which hand you put your knee on. Just grab a knee and take the opposite hand behind you. Tent the fingertips at the base of your spine, your tailbone. Push into your fingertips, find length, and then twist and look around behind you. Take an inhale in And then as you exhale, twist a little bit more, twisting through the upper back, trying to keep the sit bones grounded into the earth. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale everything back to center. Slowly change knees, grabbing the opposite knee and then tenting the fingers right at the bottom of your spine, lifting tall by pushing into the fingertips and then rotating back behind you. So it's like you're drawing that shoulder blade, the back shoulder blade, in towards the spine and then taking the gaze behind you if it feels okay on your neck. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, rotate a little bit more. And then inhale everything back to center. I already feel so much better. I was feeling so tight this morning. Let's come into a beautiful stretch forward. So you can leave your legs as they are. It might feel better to stack one shin in front of the other. You'll get a little bit more length. And then just lift up. Maybe move the fleshy parts of your glutes away from your sit bones. Inhale the arms up nice and high. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips. So shoot your tailbone back behind you, hinge at the hips. And feel your core engage as you reach the fingertips forward. When you can't reach any more forward, drop the hands down. Tuck the tailbone back behind you. So try not to let it tuck under. Try not to round in the low back, but shoot the tailbone back behind you like you're trying to aim it towards the wall behind you. Let your sacrum spread. So that's the large bony wedge shape at the base of your pelvis. Let it spread from side to side as you hinge at the hip, opening here through the low back. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, maybe walk the hands a little bit more forward. The head can start to rest so that the ears are between the biceps, just as a little lever to bring you a little bit closer towards the earth. And you may not be anywhere near where I am, and that's just fine. I would prefer for you to be upright as long as your back is straight. You'll still feel a beautiful stretch into the outer hips and the low back. I just happen to need a little bit more because I'm a little bit more open in my hips and in my low back. If there's any pain, pull back, walk your hands back a little bit and find an edge that feels just a little bit uncomfortable. The intention here is to stress the tissues, not to pull on any ligaments or tear anything. Just stress them to find a deeper opening and flexibility in our connected tissues. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release a little bit more. And then as you inhale, walk your hands over to one side. It doesn't matter what side, one side. And whatever side you're walking your hands over to, let the opposite hip point draw down towards the earth. So big stretch down that side body, breathing into those side body ribs. Try not to let there be too much tension in the neck. Let the neck just hang. Inhale everything back to center. And then exhale everything over to the opposite side. Pulling the opposite hip down towards your mat or the carpet. Let the head go, unclench the jaw. Let all the muscles around your eyes be soft. It's easy to tense up the face when we move into stretching, but when we're stretching the fascial system, we really need to have all of the muscles relaxed and calm, easy, so that the whole chain can open up. Inhale back to center, and then slowly walk your hands back in. Wherever you were, take the opposite foot in front. So we'll just find another forward fold just for a moment, just to give the opposite hip a little bit of a stretch so that it doesn't feel uneven. And then walk the hands back in. And then let's take ourselves right down onto our back. So rotate yourself around. Maybe use a little bit of core to drop yourself down towards the earth. I have a crow that's right at the corner of my pool and I there, talking to me about something, who knows what. Take the feet as wide as your mat, or take them wider than hip width distance apart if you're not on a mat. And then let your inner knees knock in. Ooh, I just had a big click in my hip, so that's nice. I think that was my pelvis readjusting, which is a beautiful thing. So feel the inner knees knock in. This is called constructive rest pose. And we're just letting the spine neutralize here before we move into some twists. So keeping the feet as wide as your mat, just let them fall over to the left side. Let them fall over to the left side, and then take that left heel and let it just bind on top of the outer side of the right knee, just to give it a little bit more leverage, drawing it down towards the earth. The arms can come into a cactus shape, or maybe you want to take them up and overhead if you want a little bit more for the front of your chest. And then the gaze can come over to the right to complete this spinal twist. So right away I feel my left quadricep tensing. I'm going to try and release all of the gripping of my left quadricep. And just let the body weight, the weight of my foot, just draw the inner edge of my right knee a little bit closer towards the earth. The stretch here is in the front of the right hip flexor. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And then as you inhale, release everything up towards midline. So take the left leg high into the sky as you reach towards midline, and then drop it down. We'll move on to the opposite side. Inhale, and then exhale, let the knees drop over to the right side. Lift the left foot up and let the left ankle sit on the outer edge of the right ankle sit on the outer edge of the left knee. Feel the outer edge of the right knee drop a little bit closer towards the earth. And then for me, I'll take my arms in cactus here and take a gaze over at my left elbow. So I'm willing my right quadricep to release its grip so that it can just hang towards the earth, letting the weight of my ankle just draw my inner left thigh towards the earth. I'm getting a beautiful stretch here, all in my hip flexor. In my TFL, it's called tensor fascia ligament lata, and medius even here. Even a little bit down the IT band, actually. Find your breath. And then release the right foot down to the earth and slowly take everything back to midline. Find your constructive rest pose again, your knee knock pose. Let everything come back in. Feel how your spine feels different now than when you first started this pose. And then walk the feet in so that they're hip width distance apart, and walk them a little bit closer to your glutes. We're going to take a sleeping pigeon. So take the right leg high into the sky, bend at the knee and cross the ankle on top of the thigh, and let the knee just drop out to the right side. And then use your core, draw the thigh in and reach behind the thigh and draw the ankle the right ankle, the left thigh in towards your left rib cage. If you can, keep both feet flexed. That's a little bit safer for your knees. If you're a little bit more flexible, maybe you want to clasp the hands over the left shin so that you can draw in a little bit closer. The right elbow can push out into the inner right thigh to just open the knee a little bit simultaneously, but it doesn't have to. With every exhale, you draw the left thigh a little bit closer to your left rib cage. And slowly release everything down. Keep the ankle on top of the thigh and just start to curl the tailbone under. Press your hands into the mat, palms facing down, and just curl the tailbone up. Come into a one-legged bridge. Just stretching out the low back here, but also strengthening the left glute a little bit. So the left knee is going to want to just droop down. The left hip's going to want to droop down. See if you can keep both hip points in line with each other. Using the strength of the left glute to just hold you here. When we sit a lot, we lose the strength of our gluteus maximus. It's called glute amnesia. So we need to once in a while strengthen it in order to keep the support while we're sitting so that we don't just sit directly on our sits bones. Press into the heel, lift 1 inch higher, and then slowly articulate the spine down. Curl the tailbone up so that it's the very last thing to hit down onto the floor. Take the right leg high into the sky, and then drop the right foot down. Make sure both heels are close into the glutes. Take the left leg high into the sky, bend at the ankle, cross or bend at the knee, cross the ankle on top of the right thigh. And then reach through that little hole you've made in your figure 4 and draw the right thigh towards your right rib cage. The left elbow, my left elbow is pushing into my left inner thigh, drawing the knee out and away to the left side. Getting into the external hip rotator there, opening it up. If you'd like to reach a little bit further through and grab for the shin, that always feels better for me. It gets into a deeper stretch. You can do that. Draw both sit bones down towards the earth. So your sacrum, try and press your low back into the earth. You'll get a deeper stretch. So it's as if you're trying to take your tailbone down towards the earth rather than just bringing your low back off of the mat. Find a deep breath in and sigh it out. See if you can draw everything in a little bit more. So this is a great alternative to pigeon on the ground if you always find that pigeon on the ground is excruciating for your hips. This is a beautiful alternative. Take one more breath in, and then take the right foot down to the earth, extend the left leg. Oh no, keep the left ankle crossed. And then press into the mat. Curl your tailbone up, press into your shoulder blades, and lift that right hip high into the sky. So really feeling, even check in with your right hand, feel your right glute, make sure it's firing, and push up and away with the right heel. Feeling that glute working. And if you don't work your glutes a lot, you'll start to shake right away, and that's okay. That means you're working and building strength. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lift 1 inch higher. Use the glute a little bit more. Squeeze it in, isometric, hold. And then slowly lower down, mid-back, low back, curl the tailbone up, and then finally let it tip down into the earth. Take the left leg high into the sky, and then drop the left knee down. Find constructive rest pose again, feet as wide as the mat, knees knock in, and then just windshield wiper them from side to side. And it doesn't matter how it looks, just let them really move. Find some big movements with your hips. The hips require this sort of scrubbing out of that ball and socket joint in order to bring brand new synovial fluid into them. So this kind of movement, this windshield wiper movement, really helps to keep the hips flexible and young. And why I have you move them internally and externally is because if you're sitting at a desk all day, you're not moving them in either of these directions. Your knees are facing forward and your hips aren't getting this movement at all. And it's important for you to keep the mobility in your hips this way. And then bring the knees back up towards the ceiling. We're going to come into a happy baby. So bring the knees into the chest and then reach through the inner thighs and grab either the big toes or grab the outside edges of your feet. And you can keep the knees very bent here, but feel like you're reaching your tailbone back towards the ground again. And just pull the shoulders away from the ears, feel the stretch in the outer hips. And then begin to draw your feet away from midline so that the soles of the feet feel like they could stamp up on the ceiling if the ceiling was only a couple of feet above you. Draw the knees in towards the armpits and pull on your feet and feel your feet pulling away. That's when you'll get that beautiful stretch into the outer hip. And then as babies do, you can rock from side to side, which really is a beautiful massage for your low back. And if you're more of a seasoned yogi and you want to start extending one leg and then the other, getting into an inner groin stretch, you can try that. That helps you with a little bit more of movement in this pose, rocking from side to side. My inner groins are super tight, so I'm just going to hold this pose for a moment, pushing up through my heels. And pull your knees into your chest. Pull your face up to your knees. Make yourself into a very tight ball. Shrug your shoulders to your ears. Make everything very, very tense. Tense your face, tense your feet, tense all the muscles in your body. Take a little bit of breath air into your lungs. And then as you exhale, drop down into Shavasana, our final resting pose, corpse pose. Let the body just flop down. Maybe walk the shoulder blades in towards each other. Let the arms come far away from your body. Let your feet come apart very wide and the toes, the pinky toes, drop down towards the earth. Your fingertips are curled in, and then rock the head from side to side, just to release your mind, to release your neck. And then take a scan of your body. Where are you still holding on? And then where can you release and let go? Let the heels be so heavy in the mat that Maybe you can feel them indenting into your rug or carpet, floor, mat. The quadriceps are heavy, almost sinking away from the femur bones. The hip points drooping towards the earth. And all of the vertebrae of the spine dropping down one at a time towards the earth. No need to hold you upright or erect. Just dropping, sinking, giving into gravity here. The forearms and the biceps, the triceps and the shoulders just give up their need to grip or hold or tense. Nothing to pull or push at this moment, just releasing towards the earth. And then all of the muscles around your neck that we stretched earlier, they all become so slack. The upper neck, everything's soft and easy. The back of the skull is heavy into the earth. And even your scalp feels soft, smooth. There are no wrinkles or furrows on your forehead, especially the space between your eyebrows. Smooth, carefree. The eyeballs are heavy, sagging in the sockets, as if they could move all the way to the back of the skull. And the jaw unclenches. The upper teeth move away from the lower teeth. And even the tongue gives up its need to press against the roof of the mouth. Everything effortless. You take your attention to the notch at the base of the throat, between the collarbones. You notice imperceptibly your heartbeat there. And for just this moment, your world stops spinning so quickly. And you're able to just fall, just free fall. To this darkness, this knowingness that you are safe and supported. And that everything is going to be just fine. That you are safe and you are secure. That you are loved. That you are worthy and valuable. And furthermore, that you are sacred and that you are divine. And here, as you rest, you have this inherent knowledge that the whole universe is inside of you. We are all connected. And we just need to replant our roots in the universe, to remember to come home to ourselves, to connect with what is real and true, which is love. Buddha says at the end of our lives, there are only three things that will matter. How much we loved, how beautifully we lived, and how gracefully we let go of things that weren't meant for us. So live your life and love with fervor and passion, and let go of the things that aren't meant for you. Start to bring your awareness to your hands and feet without moving them. And notice them so alive with sensation. Maybe they're tingling, hot or cold. Become so aware of how your thoughts, your mind, can make something feel so alive with energy. And then let your hands and feet start to move so amazingly in tune with the sensations of your own body. Deepen the breath. Start to take big inhales and exhales in and out. Rock the head from side to side. And then once again, one at a time, draw the knees into the chest. And just fall over onto your left side, your yin side. Reaching the left arm up and overhead, using the bicep as a pillow for your temple. And pause for a moment and notice how great you feel. Maybe let a gentle smile come to your face. And remind yourself that you can feel like this. You can feel relaxed and hopeful and calm and peaceful. And as though everything is really going to be okay. And hold on to this feeling. Seal it in your mind so that you can revisit it anytime you like. In times of stress, chaos, anxiety, fear, come back here. Remember how you felt right now to remind yourself of who you really are. You are not those thoughts. You are not that panic. This is what you are. This feeling, this is your birthright. Then press into your right hand, extend your right leg out, and then slowly moving through molasses, come to an easy seated position where we found ourselves at the beginning of class, maybe keeping the eyes closed. Draw the hands together at heart center, the thumbs press into the heart, lift up through the crown, ground down through your seat bones. As always, such an honor to guide you through your practice, however long or short it may be. I hope you found moments of peacefulness, maybe even of bliss. I hope your body feels open, calm, to move through your day. Move with purpose and intention, but mostly with love. Always love. Keep love at the forefront. It will always win over fear. And as we move through this time, this unprecedented time in history, let it make something beautiful of your life that you will never forget. Let it change you and plant new roots in you and those you love, about how better to love, how better to connect. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may our thoughts and words and actions in some way contribute to that happiness and that freedom for all. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. I'm not sure how long it went. I think it went longer than I thought it would. But if you liked it, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because then you will know if you turn the notifications on when I release another video. Please comment to me about how you felt throughout the practice, or maybe if you felt something special during Shavasana and the words. I would love to hear your feedback on what you would like to see more of, what you loved about this class, so that I can integrate it into my next classes with you.